Hello. I just pretty much want to talk to you guys about God today. And it's just been a lot of things that's been on my heart to talk about, but I pretty much didn't know even how to say it and how to even start the topic because there's so many non-believers and people that just don't believe or stop believing, and a lot of people that are doubting God right now. And it just feels like the audience to what I'll be talking about is not going to be heard, or it's going to be overlooked or overseen. There's many times where people honestly thought I was crazy for some of the things that I see and that I've experienced and how God speaks to me. A lot of people think that I'm bragging. They say, oh, you have the highest gift in the church, as if I'm not supposed to use it. Excuse my hair, but this has been really hard for me to even, just speak on it because, so I didn't comb my hair and all that stuff. Like, I pretty much just wanted to just get on here and just let people know about God and how good He is, and some of the gifts that He's given me. I thought that I was crazy, weird, and I didn't know I was special. The enemy has been trying to stop me from doing what I was called to do. But it's crazy because he knew what I was called to do before I knew what I was called to do. Since I was a little girl, I was 3 years old, I had my first nightmare where I seen the devil. And he doesn't actually have a face. He pretends to be other people in my sleep. And I didn't know pretty much of who the devil was, but I always, since I was 3, I would see like a little red costume and with a tail, just like the pictures. I thought that's what the devil was, but that was just something that he made look cartoonish to basically make me think I was in just a dream. So I remember the first nightmare I had, I was about 3 years old, and I seen a devil in a devil suit, like you would see a costume, all red, red tail, and he was running by this fire extinguisher. And as he was running around the fire extinguisher, we were the same height. He was big as a 3-year-old, and I was chasing him, and we were playing, and then something eerie started to come about my body. Like I can start feeling something real funny to where it just didn't feel right. So I was like, why am I feeling weird with, me playing around with this character? So I started to think like something's not right. I gotta wake up. I gotta get out this dream. But I was sleeping really good. Years later, I started to actually see faces put to this eerie feeling that I had. And it was more so, I started to understand by the age of 4 or 5. I'll say 5 to be official, as far as I can remember back. I was actually being dragged into hell. I hope I'm not skipping too much because I have like a little bit of nervousness in me, not too much. I pretty much prayed that out, but so I hope you're following me here. So by the time I was like 4 or 5, I'll say officially 5 years old, I was drugged down to hell into a hole. And it looked very ancient. And I was in kindergarten because I remember I had to stay home from school that day because the nightmare was so taunting that I couldn't go to school. So I remember it being fire in some places, not everywhere. And it was just like some type of ritual gathering with evil demonic forces. And I remember swinging, kicking, and fighting, and my mom and my father said, she's not going to school today. This nightmare was horrible. The nightmares was getting worse and worse. About the time I was, I'll say 12 years old, the nightmares had enhanced in a bad way. I more so was starting to see faces as far as people instead of a cartoon character. So you don't know what the enemy really looks like. You just know that he comes in many shapes, forms, and fashions. So the nightmare when I was like, I'll say 12, they got more intense, and basically I was starting to see hell as if it was earth, but there was just no electricity. There's no electricity in hell, none whatsoever. There is pure darkness, pure evil. 15 was when it was really official that what I was seeing was really, it was just outrageous. I remember I was about 15, I'll just say 15, because it was 14 or 15. I was in my room and I was asleep, and I was being held down once again in my nightmare. And my mother taught me to pray and read Psalms 91 and to learn it by heart so that I could recite it, so that when I be in a nightmare, because the only way to get out the nightmare is to speak about Jesus Christ. That's the only way you can get out the nightmare. But you're being held down and your mouth is being covered. So I'm like, I started to pray. I was like, I started singing, "This little light of mine." I just started singing whatever I could do to get out this nightmare. And then I remember the enemy started to play the organ in the corner of my room, like slanted. He was slanted like this, in the corner of my room. And I was just like, I just kept trying to say anything pertaining to the Bible to get out that nightmare. And then I was like, just leave me alone. Why can't you just leave me alone? And he just started to say some crazy stuff. I'm not going to repeat that, but I just kept praying and saying stuff to get out the nightmare, and I started to recite some scriptures. And then a Bible appeared. He got off the organ, came in my face, and he was like right here at my face. And then he was like, and as the Bible just appeared out of nowhere, he was like, that's how he read the Bible that fast, in a matter of seconds. And he was like, "Are you forgetting that I'm a fallen angel?" So I knew a little bit more, about 90% about what I was up against and what was really going on at that point. That no matter what I was taught in church, I was experiencing the other side of what happens when you die, if you go to hell. So I was like, wow, this is really like the enemy. But I can't really describe his face, because he's sneaky like that. He's not going to let me see his face for sure. So I was like, why don't you just leave me alone? What do you look like? Who are you? Why do you keep haunting me in my sleep? And then I remember he had on, just like on TV, that all black robe with the brown rope around him. And he said, I said, "What do you look like? Why are you always coming to me appearing as like different people? Which one are you? Who are you?" And he said, "Oh, I have many faces." And he showed me about 1 million faces, it seemed like, in a matter of 5 seconds. And it was a Mexican guy, a black guy, Chinese. It was just so many different faces. They all looked different. And he was formally introducing himself. And I remember trying everything to get out that nightmare. He made me think that I was woken out the nightmare, because it was like I could see what was going on in my house. My mom was walking past my room. My door was wide open. He was allowing me to see what was going on while I was still asleep, and making me think I woke up, because I was calling for my mom and I thought she heard me, but she didn't. And I kept saying, "Mom, Mom." I was trying to get her to wake me up. And then I remember I'm telling him, you're not real. This isn't real. So I remember he scratched my arm, just like on that Golden Child movie. And he told me, this is to remember this dream. And I remember waking up and the scar was still there. It was bleeding. And I screamed for my mom. And about the time she came in there, the scar was gone. She just wouldn't, for some reason, she did not come in time to see what I seen. It like disappeared by the time she got in the room. So I say all this to tell everybody, like, basically, you know, what I experienced in my sleep. A lot of people have told me, oh, well, that's probably because you were taught those things and, you know, you dream about them, or that's something you dream about. You dream about what you go to bed watching on TV or reading or seeing or hearing, but that's not true. This started when I was 3 years old, and I was a church girl. My mom, you know, pretty much was very strict on what we watched. So I'm still haunted in these dreams to this day. And I thought that I was crazy, and I'm almost 40. And like a year ago, God revealed to me, I said, why do I have these dreams still? And he told me, he said, because you're not weird or crazy. Stop thinking that. You're supposed to tell other people, to warn them about what happens if they don't pick a side. So I'm just here to tell you that if you don't pick a side and you don't know who you want to believe in, it wouldn't hurt to try Jesus. Because in those nightmares, when I call his name, that's the only way I get out. And when I try to say his name, the demons hold me down and cover my mouth. So it's a lot more dreams I could tell you about, but I just wanted to start off by just letting people know that it's nothing to play with. I'm losing sleep. I'm up to 3 or 4 in the morning because I'm tormented. And I believe it's because I haven't been following my ministry that I was called to tell you and to warn God's people. And I'm tired of losing sleep. I just asked God to plant something on my heart before I opened the Bible and before I did this video. And I opened the Bible and I landed on Deuteronomy 27 verse 10. And it says, thou shalt therefore obey the voice of the Lord thy God, and do his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. So I can't run no more from my ministry. I'm not the kind of person I'm not normal to where I can commit the same sins as everyone else and not be tormented in my sleep from it. It keeps me on the right track. It's a blessing and a curse. The things that I've seen. 40 years almost. It's been, I'll say, 36 years of nightmares. And I have some stories. Sometimes I think that this one lady told me, she said, well, you having those nightmares because, she said, the devil has prepared a place for you in hell.